I mean, he's clearly behind the operation to shoot all these boats in the Caribbean. Back in World War II, the Allies tried Nazi submarine captains for doing this exact same thing. And guess what the conclusion was? They got executed. Listen to that, Mr. Secretary.
So much for toning down the rhetoric. If you disagree with Democrats, you're nothing more than a war criminal, a Nazi, someone deserving of death. So it's my pleasure to tell the congressman, shut your pie hole. To discuss, let's welcome in our friend, the actor, political commentator, Hercules himself, Kevin Sorbo. Kevin, always good to see you. Welcome back.
Good to be back. Thank you, sir.
I mean, we're not even a week removed from someone attempting again to assassinate the president. And by the way, dozens and dozens of other people in the room. And Seth Moulton thinks it's a good idea to say, let's execute Pete Hegseth.
You know, the Democrats have always been lovers of starting wars and keeping wars going. So it's, let's go back to LBJ alone with that. And it's weird to me. You talk about these people always trying to say that they're not doing what they're doing. They do it all the time. I go back to seeing Walters. How many times did she scream out if you see any Republicans, anybody you know, interrupt their dinner, create havoc, attack them? I mean, these are the people that are bringing all this out there. And I think they're perfectly and totally responsible for these assassination attempts on Trump.
Yeah, and they're the folks who have lectured President Trump about civility and norms and all the rest of it. This is not the first time, but by the way, Seth Moulton made some pretty nasty comparison. Back in 2016, he spoke to the Boston Globe and compared the president to, of course, Hitler. Watch.
People should read the history of how Germany elected Hitler. Read that history and just try to understand the analogies. And I think that's important at this time. I'm not saying that Donald Trump is necessarily Hitler. I'm not saying that. But you ought to understand how an unbelievably educated, advanced society can elect a demagogue and how bad it can get as a result.
How ridiculous is it to say, study your history, be careful when you elect a demagogue, and all these bad things are happening. Now, I'm not saying Trump is like Hitler, though, after spending 25 seconds saying he's Hitler.
And they kept that going for 10 years, and they still do it occasionally. I mean, it's absolutely crazy what they do. And I love the fact that they compared Trump to Hitler when the Nazi stands for National Socialism, and that's what the Democrats are. They are the Socialist Party. They are the Communist Party in today's America. So for them to go after him the way they've been going after him for over a decade now is just getting so sick and tired. And this guy is just another one of the many bozos that people put in office. I love the fact he talks about, how can people that are educated people vote for guys like Trump? Well, because they're educated.
Yes, that's the simple answer. And, I think people are fed up with the people in sports, like Steve Kerr. He's this NBA coach, always taking pops at the president. He's now, some people are saying the Golden State Warriors might push him out because they're tired of him doing this. He sat down with the New Yorker and claimed he kind of regretted calling the president a buffoon. I think he's just doing this to save his job. Here's a taste of what he's said about the president before. Watch.
After the results are tallied that night, we can, in the words of the great Steph Curry, we can tell Donald Trump, night, night.
He even spoke at the Democrat National Convention. I mean, he's an NBA coach. Why is he getting involved? People hate this.
I've met Steve a couple times. I've actually golfed with him. He was always very nice to me, very cordial. We never got into politics at all. I would have loved to now because he's been so vocal these last 10, 12 years. And the stuff he says just blows my mind. And here's a guy taking a knee for the national anthem. So he's in an industry, the NBA, it's capitalism, buddy. You're making your money. Capitalist system, you should feel very, very guilty. All those millions of dollars you made in your long and illustrious career with Chicago Bulls and as a coach over there in Golden State, you should feel guilty and give a lot of that money away.
Yeah, and the NBA's been sucking up to China to get more money as well. Wonder why. Kevin Sorbo, thank you. Check out sorbostudios.com.
Always a pleasure.
Information. Truth is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.